Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right, we're gonna get started because I don't wanna take too long. And then at the end, I'll leave room for questions and comments and things like that. Or if you have something that comes up, just leave it in the chat for me. I want to make sure I've got my camera angle right here. Okay, I think that's gonna work. All right, so what I want to talk about tonight is I think it's going to be so helpful for you because I was thinking back, like I remember the last Christmas that I spent with my husband and how incredibly hard it was to put on a happy face and pretend that I was good or when really I was dying inside. And maybe you can relate to that. Or I remember the first Christmas morning that the kids all left and the house was just filled with emptiness, and maybe you can relate to that too. But sometimes I think the hard of the holidays can get compounded by watching others live out their holidays through social media, and we only see the best parts of everybody else's story, and we assume that we compare our worst parts to their what we think are their best parts. And I just want you to know that your holiday can be joy filled and look very different than anyone else's. And eventually, your holidays, even if they aren't how you had originally dreamed them, can begin to feel like yours. So I see this especially if the infidelity led to divorce and maybe you share the kids for the holidays. No matter what your holiday looks like, it can be rich and beautiful. And I think that tonight I want to give you some hope. I want to give you some clarity. I want to give you some actionable steps to create some joy this holiday season. But first, let me introduce myself for those that don't know me. I am Monica Mundell. I'm a stay-at-home mom, turned health coach, turned life coach, turned infidelity mentor. As I was walking my own years of infidelity, I just kept being called to share my story to help others. And I didn't know what that would look like, but I was willing to be vulnerable and open up about my past. And when I did, the women just started flooding in. And I realized that there are so many women just like me carrying this hidden hurt, just like I did. And so if you're here tonight because you too have experienced infidelity in your relationship, I just want you to know that I'm holding space for you. I've been praying for you and thinking about you, and I'm here for you. So tonight, I want to give you 7 simple steps to create a more joy-filled holiday season in spite of your pain. I called this surviving the season, but what I feel like I should have actually called it is thriving through the season, because I want you to get out of just surviving. So I think what I share tonight will help you do just that. So let's get to it. I want to be sure to leave time at the end for questions. So I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to tell you exactly what's up here. So if you can't see it, you're not missing anything. But let's dive into those 7 things. So number 1, the number 1 thing you can do is to increase your joy quotient. This is the thing that I wish I had taught myself when I was first walking infidelity. This is the thing I wish I would have understood at the very beginning of my journey, because I think it would have compressed my suffering. So how do you increase your joy quotient? Well, number 1, it's by looking for and creating joy moments. So joy moments is this phrase that I coined on my own infidelity journey. And joy moments are like these minuscule moments in your day where you feel joy. And in the beginning, maybe those moments only last for a second. And then eventually you experience more of them, and maybe they'll last a couple seconds. Or then those 2 seconds turn into a minute, and then that minute turns into 5 minutes. But sometimes you have to be willing to look for the 1 second of joy, and sometimes that 1 second can carry you farther than you think it will. And then eventually those 1 seconds, like I said, turn into 2 seconds and turn into 1 minute and 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So the good news is that joy is an emotion that you create internally. So when we think of happiness, happiness is an external emotion, and it's usually created by external circumstances. Joy comes internally. And so when you learn to create that internally, in spite of what's happening in your life or what circumstances, what stress, all of that, then you increase your joy quotient. And we know that joy and suffering can coexist. So you start practicing increasing your joy. And I think when we talk about these 6 other things, as you do those 6 things, they also will naturally help you to increase your joy quotient. All of these kind of are going to like merge together. So number 2 is take control of your mind. Your greatest asset to healing and creating a life you love after infidelity is your mind. Our thoughts are so powerful, and how we think about every situation in our life determines the reality of our life. So I teach a concept called the creation model, and it's based off of cognitive behavioral theory. And it's basically that our thoughts create our emotions, and our emotions cause us to take action, and our actions create the results that we get in our life. So the amount of joy that you have this holiday season will be determined by the thoughts that you are thinking. So some questions to ask yourself, like, are your thoughts causing you to show up as a victim? Are your thoughts causing you to feel resentment? Are your thoughts keeping you stuck? Is the story you are telling yourself true or false? What do you want to think about the holidays? So I want you to decide on purpose that you're going to stop allowing the thoughts that make you feel sad and angry and bitter, and that you're going to start practicing the thoughts that leave you feeling optimistic and committed to healing and empowered, because you transform your life by renewing your mind. And this will be the most powerful tool you create for yourself for every situation in your life when you learn to take control of your mind. Number 3, take control of your faith. Start your day with prayer, with meditation. I started a prayer journal when I was walking through infidelity, and I just poured my heart out in that journal every morning. It just became part of my morning routine. In addition to, washing my face and brushing my teeth and eating breakfast, I did my prayer journal. And lately, I've been doing a devotion called Our Daily Bread, where you write, and then I also love to write down what I'm thankful for. Some other things you can do is read from the Word, meditate, read a scripture book, join a Bible study, attend a retreat, go to church, listen to a podcast. I'm a Catholic, so I prayed the rosary a lot. I couldn't sleep, I prayed the rosary. I was in the shower, I prayed the rosary. I wanted to cry, I prayed the rosary. And I just prayed and prayed and prayed. So whatever faith looks like for you, use that as a tool in your healing and in your joy creation. Because when you take control of your faith on this journey, you gain an understanding and a knowing that all will be well. There's like a peace that comes from taking control of your faith. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is take control of your emotions. This goes along with taking control of your mind. And so once you get good at taking control of your mind, taking control of your emotions gets easier. But you get to decide how someone is going to make you feel. And one of the ways that we take control of our own emotions is we stop trying to control other people's emotions and actions. And we stop blaming our own emotions on other people. The good news is that you can generate emotions for yourself by how you think. And I do this all the time. I want to decide each day how I want to feel. I want to decide how my emotions are serving me. Did you know as your body and your mind get stronger, your emotional capacity grows? I call it building emotional wealth. So I want you to begin to build your emotional wealth, and you will see more joy in your holiday season. Okay, number 5 is take control of your day. So sit down and make a plan for your day, for your week, for the month, all the way to next year. Make a list of what you really want to accomplish this holiday season. And then I want you to take that list and I want you to take things off of it. I want you to mark off anything that isn't necessary or won't bring you joy. Because this is your holiday season and you get to decide what it will look like. So maybe this year you skip the perfectly wrapped gifts and you do gift bags. Or maybe you decide the tree is good enough instead of tweaking it until it's perfect. Or maybe this year you only get out half the decorations because that's all you have. That's all the mental and physical capacity you can handle. Like, so take control of your day instead of it taking control of you. If you're finding that, you are having a hard time getting motivated, or then find ways in your day to motivate you to do the things that need to be done. But I think also just removing things from our to-do list can be so helpful, because we as women are so good at adding so many things to our list that aren't necessary. And then we just create more stress for ourselves. So this is one I still have to practice a lot, because I like to make the never-ending to-do list. Okay, number 6, take control of your stress. So listen, I know this is stressful. I get it. And you can't just like wave a wand and make the stress go away. But you can do things to alleviate your stress, or at least complete the stress cycle. So first, I want to talk about what actually brings you stress. It's your thoughts. And so as you learn to take control of your mind, you're naturally going to take control of your stress. This heartbreak is stressful. Being a single mama is stressful. A broken marriage is stressful. But when you find ways to complete the stress cycle, you give your nervous system a rest. You give it a break from the stress. So when I was walking my infidelity journey, I picked up running. I called them my angry runs, because I was angry a lot. I'd get a text message that made me angry and I'd go for a run, or I'd get, delayed child support made me angry and I'd go for like whatever it was. At the time, I didn't understand the science behind completing the stress cycle. I've learned a lot more since then. I just thought I just needed to go for a run to get my anger out. But I actually was physically doing things to my body to help alleviate the stress and complete what they call the stress cycle. So in the beginning, I would find myself running like as fast and as hard as I could. And then as I kept running, I would just slowly slow down until I felt the anger dissipate. And by that time, I usually had exhausted myself and I would head home. But what it did was it allowed my body to complete the stress cycle in that moment. So finding ways to complete the stress cycle is crucial. Physical activity is probably the most common way that people do that. But there are also other ways, like contribution and connection. Find a way to contribute to something. Find a way to connect with somebody. Join a group. Affection, showing affection for other people. Watching a funny movie and laughing can help complete the stress cycle. Positive interactions with people. Doing breathing exercises. Those are all ways that you can complete that stress cycle and just give your nervous system just a little bit of rest because we know in this journey, there's going to be probably another stressful thing that's going to come along. But if you can give it little bits of respite in between, you're going to feel more joy this season. And then number 7 is make taking care of yourself easy. How? Okay, well, this is something that I've been practicing for a while now. And my current question that I've been asking myself lately is, how can I be selfish? And I know you're thinking, that's a weird question to ask, but I am learning to put my needs first, because I spent a lot of years putting my needs last. And I now am paying the price for that physically in my body. And so some current ways that I am taking care of myself is I am taking nightly Epsom salt baths. I'm walking every day at 3 o'clock. I'm taking Fridays off. I'm prioritizing my health by taking my supplements and avoiding sugar and getting enough sleep. 2 years ago, we put a fireplace in our screened-in porch. And so some days I'll just Start a fire. As a matter of fact, today I just started a fire and did my work from in front of the fire. So it's so important that you take care of you mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So what can you do to make that easier? How can you make taking care of yourself easy? Here are some ways that you can do that, especially during the holiday season. You can delegate things that can be delegated, whether that's in your job, in your home. Can you pay somebody to do something? Can you say no to a committee ask at work? Can you, like, where can you delegate things, or even just take and that's the next one, is take the fluff off of the to-do list. Like, what's the added thing on there that you don't actually like? Does it really matter if you have the table decorated to the nines for Thanksgiving? Probably not. Nobody really cares. They just want food. So what can you take off of the list? Another way to make taking care of yourself easy is just to make sure you're loving on your physical body. You're supporting your immune system, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc. You're feeding your body well, fruits, veggies, avoiding sugar. Or even, I love doing this for the holidays, deciding ahead of time, like deciding right now what sugar is going to be worth consuming and what sugar isn't going to be worth consuming, because you're going to be bombarded with every sugar thing imaginable. And you just decide ahead of time. Like, I sent a message to my parents and said, I want to make Aunt Sophie's peanut butter pie with a gluten-free crust for Thanksgiving. And so that will be worth consuming to me because I've thought about it and I want to have it. But every other dessert that comes around isn't going to be worth it. So decide ahead of time what sugar is worth consuming and what isn't. Sleep. Make sure that you are getting sleep, because your body heals itself mentally and emotionally and physically when you sleep. And we have to make that a priority. So if you're not getting good sleep, take supplements, move your body before bed, find a way to get good sleep. And then another way that I personally, something I do to help help make taking care of myself easier, is I use a planner, and I live and die by my planner. And I've learned to become the person who, when I put something in my planner, I keep that commitment I've made to myself. So if it goes on the to-do list, it's going to get done. Now that has taken practice, but that planner helps me simplify my day, my life, my schedule. And I can look at the planner and know if I've put too much on my plate, if I need to take that, if my to-do list is longer than the lines in my planner of to-dos, I know I have put more on my plate than I can handle for the day, and I need to readjust. So all of those are things that you can do to help create more joy in this season. Yes, is there still going to be some heartache? Yes, it's still going to be there. But at the same time, we can learn to create joy in spite of the suffering. And when I started to do all of this work, other people just started to notice. And I no longer walked around like shut off to the world or afraid of my own emotions or lost in the heartbreak. And several years ago, I decided to practice the thought, everywhere I go, I create joy. And at first it didn't feel very true. But what happened over time was that I found myself creating joy in every situation. And people started to notice how positive I was, how joyful I was, and how I saw the world through these rose-colored glasses. And then I would have women who would come to me and share their heartbreak stories with me. And this is why I created my mentorship program. By showing up in my most joyful self and sharing bits of my story, I realized how many other women were out there with the same heartache as me. So this program is everything that I needed 18 years ago when my infidelity journey started, and there was nothing like this out there that I knew of. There was, I didn't know about podcasts. I didn't know about coaching. I didn't know about any of these things. And so I spent a lot of years trying to figure out how to heal my heartbreak on my own. And if I had had what I can now offer women, I just think, oh my gosh, how much better, how much less suffering I could have had. So My mentorship will give you everything you need to actually do the work. So you can take what we talked about here tonight and you can put it into practice and you will see change. Because once you become an observer of your thoughts and your emotions, once you take control of your mind and you take control of your emotions, you just naturally will change your life. You can't help but change your life. But if you want to dig deep and work with a mentor who can help you do this work, like on a deeper level, then I want to invite you into my 12-week program. If you know you want help, I want you to join me. I'm taking clients for next year. And so it's a 12-week program. But I have a lot of them who come and they stay longer than 12 weeks because they start to see some transformation and they want to see even more transformation. So I just spent a lot of money to hire a transformation coach for myself. I have healed my own heartbreak, but I want to dig deeper and heal childhood wounds so that I can show up even more in the world and reach even more women who need my words. And I have created my mentorship to be affordable because I want the average woman to be able to afford this so that I can help more women without a heavy price tag. So are you willing to stay where you are and not get out of the suffering? Are you willing to make the changes and do it alone? I mean, that's possible too. That's okay. You can make great headway doing that. But if you want to get the best head start on 2024, ending this year with more joy and less heartache, then this is your one precious life and you are worthy of the joy that it can bring. So here's how it works. Anyone who signs up until we're going to call it Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, between now and the Friday after Thanksgiving is going to get an added bonus. So you're going to get 3 free calls, and we will guarantee to have at least 1 or 2 of those calls in 2023. And then you will actually get 15 coaching sessions, 15 45-minute coaching sessions. When you join the mentorship, you're going to get a Start Here section that has lots of helpful videos that are going to walk you through, like, what does a coaching session look like? How do I show up for a coaching session? What to expect? How to get the most out of it? So much good information there. I'm going to help give you focus for the 12 weeks, and actually you're going to get 15 weeks of that. So the core program is 12 coaching calls, a weekly 45-minute coaching call. You're going to get a copy of my Joy Creator Journal for free. You're going to get 2 bonus teachings. I have a Happy Healthy Hormones bonus teaching, and I have a Gratitude Journal bonus teaching. You will also get messaging with me between calls. So I will walk with you every step of the way. And instead of paying $6,500 like I just paid for a coach for 9 sessions, yours is for $2,000. You will get 15 45-minute calls. And like I said, we're adding on those 3 extras, the weekly teachings, the Joy Creator Journal, and you can pay that upfront, or I also have a payment option, which is 3 payments of $675 each, so you can spread it out over time. So if we start now, you can get a head start on 2024. And so I just encourage you to think about this. I know sometimes you need some time to think about it, but I wanted to share that with you. I know the extra 3 calls are time sensitive, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned that.